Please, Petra Müller Demary. Petra.
So, most of you know me, and you know I'm working as a coach and as a business consultant in organizations. And there it's often about change, changing behavior, changing organizational structures. When I come to my clients, they often say, you know what, it's a lot of hard work. Change is a lot of hard work. And yes, it is. And it can be also very effortless. And I would like to share with you some insights about how our brilliant organ works between our ears, our brain. And we just start, I think, to understand how it works. And these insights help me to better understand how come that our solution-focused approach, or the tools, the questions that we're using, how come they're so useful, they can help to make change so effortless. So, I would like to share a little video. My computer didn't get enough coffee, so it fell asleep again. And I would like to share a very tiny little video with you. Probably you have seen it before, but I always like to see it. So, the purpose is, the task is, you're going to see people playing basketball, and just watch how often the white players are catching the ball. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. Okay, so who of you did, when you saw the video the first time, the very, very first time, did not see the gorilla? Yes, I didn't see it. And about 50% of the people who see this video first time don't see the gorilla. So actually, and of course, because we're guiding our attention by asking you, please count how often the white players catch the ball. We guide our attention. And when I would have asked you, tell me after how many seconds or how many minutes the gorilla will come into the picture, I mean, everybody's going to see it. So, with the questions, we guide our attention. And with our attention, we construct reality. It is a different movie that we are watching, depending on what question we have in our mind. It's a different reality we're seeing. And that's the difference when I go to a client, and we're talking about a team, and I'm asking him, so tell me, what are the reasons why your team is so much trouble, and why do you have all these conflicts? And he's going to tell me, you know, they don't trust one another. We had these difficulties with the reorganization. And he can tell me a lot of reasons why there's no trust and trouble in the organization and in the team. And when I'm speaking with him about, hey, I know you have some challenges that you managed. How did you manage them so successfully? He might tell me, you know, these people are really engaged. They really want to make things happen. And we're talking about exactly the same team. So it depends on what are the questions we are asking. We guide our focus of attention, and we literally see a different reality. There is a test you also can find on the internet. It's called the Implicit Association Test. It's on Harvard, and it just shows that we combine ideas which are already familiar to us. We combine them faster than ideas which are not yet connected. So in this case, it is much more faster for us to combine ideas of white and good and black and bad. This goes faster than combining words and ideas of black and good and white and bad. Yeah? Which might not be so surprising, because our computer here, he processes all the information that we get, the movies, the videos, the news, and he processes out of this an attitude. Yeah? And interesting is that this attitude might be different from our official conscious opinion, but it influences strongly our spontaneous behavior. So what is interesting, maybe you know the books from Malcolm Gladwell, and he writes in his book Blink, he describes that he did the test himself, and he recognized he had the same significant difference, hesitation, combining good with black. And he's a black person himself. His mother or grandmother is from Jamaica. And he is very successful. So he's a very good example for success and being colored. And he was really shocked about this because he said, well, come on, I don't have prejudice about myself, you know. So he tried to train this. And he repeated the test, and he repeated it, and the same hesitation stayed. And then he says, and one day it was different. So the question is, what made the desired change possible? And he was thinking about that, and he recognized he was watching the Olympic Games. And in the Olympic Games, you have a lot of successful black people. And this was information his brain was fed with on this day. And this spontaneous reaction was just different. So it really depends on what is the information we feed our brain with. Because this is influencing our spontaneous reactions. We might smile a little bit less. We might hesitate a little bit going towards a person. We might turn away a little bit faster. We might not react as we would like to be. And this is influencing, you know, the small changes that can have a big impact, that can have a big difference. So it's really our choice with what information we feed our brain with. Another interesting study I maybe also know about is, it's really walk the talk. So when I would split this group here, this room, into two groups, and this half, I would ask you to talk 10 about what's your best vacation ever. You know, you really enjoyed what you were doing. The other half would talk about how it is to be ill and getting old. So, and the experience would be then, when you're leaving the room, experiments have shown that the group talking about being ill and old will need significantly longer to leave this room than the people talking about vacation or something that's fun. So, what we're talking about influences our behavior. When I'm talking about, suppose you're really a dream team, how does it look like? Tell me in details, you know. How will you interact with your colleagues? Show me a movie, describe the movie. This will influence us, how we're interacting with our colleagues. I mean, it's just in our minds, but we start to interact in an according way. Or when I'm asking you, so what are the main problems you have in your team and how does it show? You know, it's going up a different road. So talking about our preferred future and make it happen. It just happens. Sometimes people say, well, as a coach you have to enlarge, you have to stretch people out of their confidence zone. Maybe I've heard this before. I'm really hesitating to do that. I like to enlarge the confidence zone. I like to call it this way. Because what do people, when you stretch them and move them out of their comfort zone? You let go and they go back into their comfort zone. But you know, when you have a little elephant, when he's chained to a stick, when he's very small and he cannot pull it out, he will not even try to pull it out when he's bigger and he has all the strength that he could do it easily. He doesn't even try it. That's called premature cognitive commitment. We try to make sense of our world. We give it a certain meaning. And when we gave it a meaning, we see and we're looking for confirmation. So when I believe the world is unsafe, I will find a lot of reasons and indicators that confirms that the world is unsafe. When I believe in this organization, you really better shut up because you only get into trouble when you have any initiative, I will find a lot of reasons why this is the way it is. But when I'm asking for exceptions, when I'm asking for situations where it might have been different and we're analyzing them, I might recognize when I have a good trustful relationship with my boss and I'm involving him, I really can influence these things in this organization. So when we're looking for exceptions and forerunners, we enlarge our options and we enlarge our confidence zone. So it really creates new opportunities and we're acting differently. Because like the elephant, once you recognize he is strong enough to move, there's no way back. You cannot chain him anymore with a little stick. It's over. And that's the same when we become aware of the exceptions, we reconstruct how we see the reality. And if we see reality in a different way, we are acting differently. It just happens. So, give yourself a break. And guide your focus of attention by asking useful questions. Talk about the desired future and become part of it. And look for exceptions and forerunners and enlarge your confidence zone. I really like what Peter said. I'm not concerned you will not change. I'm more concerned you will change and you will not recognize it. Or like Steve de Stazer said, solution talk really creates solutions. Thank you very much.